Good morning, members of the jury, teachers, classmates, and parents. My name is Javiera Herrera, and today I'm going to talk about Sherlock Holmes and the deductive and inductive reasoning. So, from the original Arthur Conan Doyle stories to BBC's TV show, the character Sherlock Holmes has always been praised for his science of deduction. But is that what he really does? Let's picture Sherlock, a brilliant, obsessive-compulsive consulting detective, snooping around a crime scene. He observes countless details about the scene and the victim, many of which the police seems to have overlooked. And from that information, he arrives at a conclusion that is still it's not necessarily true, but it's probable based on the information available. So why is he known as the master of deduction? Deductive reasoning is also known as top-down logic. It makes general statements or hypotheses and examines the possibilities to reach a specific logical conclusion. In deductive reasoning, if something of a class of things are true, then it is also true for all members of that class. For example, all men are mortal, and Harold is a man. Therefore, Harold is mortal. For deductive reasoning to be sound, the hypothesis must be true. So it is assumed that the premises, all men are mortal and Harold is a man, are true. Therefore, the conclusion, Harold is mortal, is logical and true. Now let's picture Sherlock. He walks into a bedroom with the premise that there has been a rush of murders in this area. And the woman on the ground is likely another victim of this same predator. So he gathers information, blood, nicotine stains, ash in a corner, a fragment of glass. And from that information available, he arrives at a conclusion that, This is the kind of logic that is also used by the police in the Sherlock stories, and also the ones in our real world. It has been also been proven over time to be a useful tool in crime solving, but it sure doesn't seem like the Sherlock method. Inductive reasoning, however, that's another thing. It's the opposite to deductive, so it's down-top logic. It makes broad generalizations from specific observations. For example, Ray is a football player, and all football players weigh more than 170 pounds. So Ray must weigh more than 170 pounds. Or in other words, it allows Sherlock to infer from the information observed in order to arrive at a conclusion about events that had not been observed. So here, getting to our little scenario, Sherlock walks into the scene with no presupposed ideas about what may have happened. The woman on the ground maybe died from natural causes. Maybe she was murdered. Maybe she fell through the ceiling from an airplane flying thousands of miles above. But he doesn't know. So he looks. There's the ash from her cigarette. So she couldn't have fell from a great height. And there's the broken window. But maybe it was already broken when she arrived. Or maybe it was broken in a struggle with the murder. And does she have lacerations in her body? Or is her dress damp from the rain outside or dry? And he goes on gathering information until he arrives at a conclusion that still may be incorrect. And yet more information will come until he is quite sure he has arrived at the right conclusion. So how could Sherlock Holmes make this mistake when describing himself? Was it in fact his scribe's error? So Watson was a doctor, and he should have known the difference between deductive and inductive. Or maybe the mistake was because of Sherlock's ignorance of commonly known facts that are too basic and useless. Because, for example, in the TV show, he doesn't know that the Earth goes around the sun because it doesn't affect his day-to-day or his job. Or maybe the mistake was intentional. Without further evidence, we will never know. Not inductively, anyway. These were my sources: lifescience.com, Prezi.com, and socialresearchmethods.net. Thank you all for your attention.